Arsenal's painful loss to Bayern won't wreck season, Arteta. Munich. Mikel Arteta says his Arsenal players are feeling the pain of their Champions League exit to Bayern Munich, but insists it will not wreck their season. The Gunners were knocked out at the quarter-final stage as Joshua Kimmich scored the only goal in Wednesday's second leg to hand Bayern a 3-2 win on aggregate. Stream on ESPN+. La Liga, Bundesliga, NWSL more, US. Arsenal face a quick turnaround with a trip to Wolves on Saturday as they aim to chase down Premier League leaders Manchester City with 6 games left to play. Arteta said, "The pain is there. It's not going to go away certainly tonight, but I can guarantee you by tomorrow we're fully focused on Wolves and everybody is lifted. What we still have to play for is beautiful. I said before it's time to be next to these players. It's easy to be behind them and praise the players and talk nice things when we win 10 in a row and 1 draw. The moment is now to be behind them and be next to them." Mikel Arteta will have to quickly lift his Arsenal players after their Champions League elimination. Harry Langer/DeFooty Images via Getty Images. Arsenal were edged out by a Bayern display in which their experience and know-how came to the fore in a tie settled by a few key moments. Arteta admitted afterwards that it may take several years for his players to learn the same street smarts, having only returned to Champions League football this season for the first time since 2017. Editor's picks. Bayern give inexperienced Arsenal a painful Champions League lesson. 1H James Ollie. "We haven't played this competition for 7 years and we haven't been in this stage for 14 years, said Arteta. "There's a reason for it. We want to do everything fast forward, super quick in one season. I think we have the capacity and the quality to be in the semi-final because the margins are very small. Those margins are coming from something else that maybe we don't have yet. We have to learn it. When you look historically, it took other clubs 7, 8, or 10 years to do it. Today, that's not going to make us feel better, that's for sure." Munich. Bayern Munich manager Thomas Tuchel said his team's Champions League experience would give them an advantage over Arsenal, and he was right. Bayern advanced to the semi-finals with a 1-0 win secured through Joshua Kimmich's 63rd-minute header, the crowning moment of a well-executed game plan that nullified the Gunners to the extent that they managed just 2 shots of any description in the second half. Arsenal have been humiliated at the Allianz Arena in the past. They lost 5-1 on their previous 2 visits. While there was nothing like the gulf in class evident then, Mikel Arteta's side will leave Germany with a sense of regret at failing to produce their best when it mattered most. Once again, one of the few remaining criticisms leveled at this young side remains unanswered. Can they deliver when the pressure is at its greatest? Stream on ESPN+. La Liga, Bundesliga, more, US. There can be no excuses. Bayern were depleted, yet still disciplined, missing Alphonso Davies through suspension alongside Serge Gnabry and Kingsley Coman due to injury. Yet, they were content to mirror Aston Villa's 2-0 win at Emirates Stadium on Sunday to some extent. Stay compact, don't press high up, and minimize mistakes before increasing the tempo in the second half. The combination flummoxed Arsenal. The first half for me was more of a chess game where nobody wanted to sacrifice a figure on the board. Nobody wanted to make the first move and open up a bit of a gap, said Tuchel. It was hard for us to find moments of acceleration. When we found it, it looked dangerous. Arsenal found some moments of acceleration and looked straight away more dangerous, but in the second half we demanded we show more personality, to take more risk to shorten the distances, play more over the shoulders, and not just the obvious pass. Maybe there is some percentage where experience made a difference. We knew that we have been in these situations. This stadium has been in these situations, and we pushed it over the line. It is not easy to be away in the second leg, Tuchel added. Arteta is not generally the sort of coach to admit he was surprised by an opponent's approach, but he acknowledged the steep change in Bayern's style, noting, "It's hard to break the opponents down when they play in the manner that they did. which they never normally do. We expected that approach as they believed that it was the best way to beat us. Credit to them and congratulate them for what they've done. When there were little margins, they've done better, that's for sure. Arteta was right to describe this more generally as a tie of very small margins. Arsenal were 1-0 up in last week's first leg when Ben White had a clear chance to extend that lead. They also created the first half's most dangerous moment here when Gabriel Martinelli fired straight at Manuel Neuer after good work from Martin Odegaard. But their match winners did not come to the fore when the tie was decided in the second half on Wednesday as Bayern improved. Leon Goretzka hit the crossbar, Rafael Guerreiro struck the post, and Kimmich struck the decisive blow. "I saw the players really willing to try their best," said Arteta. "It wasn't enough. It's true that we lacked the magic to unlock the game and open that door when the game requires. We didn't have it. That's why we are out." Editor's picks. Which players will decide the Champions League? Picking the MVPs for every team left.
8 de Ryan Olon.
Why Barca can only blame themselves after imploding versus PSG. 1 D. Sam Marsden. Champions League live blog. Man City versus Real Madrid. Bayern versus Arsenal. 3 HESPN. Arsenal's away form in Europe is an obvious area for improvement. Losing by a solitary unanswered goal in this stunning arena is no disgrace, but it concludes a run of just one win in 5 away games, including defeats in Lens and Porto. Porto employed dark arts, tactics to disrupt Arsenal's rhythm in Portugal. Here, Bayern kept the game tight and trusted themselves to define the big moments when they came. Tuchel said Leroy Sane had to bite on his teeth. Such was the pain he was playing through, and so he was selective in the moments to use his blistering pace to maximum effect. The German winger contributed significantly to the goal in that regard, breezing away from Martinelli and producing a cross that David Raya got a glove on. Guerreiro picked up the loose ball and sent the ball back into the box where Kimmich took advantage of Arsenal's failure to regroup, swooping in between flat-footed pair Martinelli and Declan Rice to plant a firm header past Raya. Tuchel hailed Arsenal as an elite team after this, and Arsenal's first Champions League campaign in 7 years is hardly a catastrophe. But it is a reminder that they have generally been ahead of schedule in the Arteta era, especially in the context of more established sides requiring a lengthy period of adaptation to this competition. Manchester City, for example, dominated domestically but had to wait until last year to finally triumph in Europe. The Gunners are palpably further behind in their evolution, as